Yes, I think I'm good. I'm good. Good afternoon. Welcome to Venture Call's second Monday. We need a really cool name for this. I'm going to tell Mike that we need a really cool name for Second Mondays. It's not just Second Monday, because every Second Monday is a Second Monday, but this is a special Second Monday of some sort for Venture Call. And we're live streaming this, and Mike told me that if he's not on the golf course in Illinois, I think he's in Illinois, or he's in Florida, one of the two. If he's not on that, he'll be with us. But I can't see that, so I don't know if he's with us or not. But thank you all for coming. In case you don't know me, I'm Ron Davis. I have a company called Supercharged Life, where I help ambitious people get what they really want in life through coaching, mentoring, public speaking, classes. I have a YouTube channel. That's what you guys were watching before this started. It comes out with new distinctions every week. Also have a bunch of articles on my website. And today I am doing a live workshop, which is going to be on goal setting. Goals, everybody tells you should have goals. Because people who have goals do so much better than people who don't have goals. And I believe that to be true. I'm not going to sit here and quote some study that who knows when it was done. It's the modern way of, used to be we quoted scripture, now we quote studies. But I do believe that having a goal makes a big difference. And so what we're going to do today in this workshop is I'm going to step you through the process I use. I use when I'm mentoring people, I use it myself, and it adds some things to your standard sort of goal setting. In life, you are going to have a number of different aspects of your life that you're going to want to set goals with and have a vision for what you want in those things. So today, what I want you to try and do is we're going to pick one little part of your life and one little thing that you want to accomplish, and then we're just going to go through the whole process on that one little thing. And to help you out, we're going to go through one of my goals as well, and I will step you through what some of the things, the ways I would put it. And what we'll do is I'll explain a step, and then I'll give you a minute or two to actually try and do the step. Now, I realize that we have about 30 minutes to do this, and that is probably not enough time to explain all of this. If you need more information, you can actually go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm doing a series of videos which go through these exact same steps. You'll get a little bit more information on that. And if you checked on the sign-in sheet that you want more information about goals, I will send you more information post-meeting. But let's get into it. Goals, there are a bazillion ways to set goals. And I know that we often start with how to write a good goal. And we're going to talk about how to write a good goal. But I actually like to start with something a little before that, called what I call your desired end state, which is a clear vision of what you want your life to be like in whatever aspect you're looking at right now. So if you want to, you can apply this to anything. You can apply what do you want your marriage or relationships to look like? What do you want your business to look like? I think that is probably more what people are expecting and interested in here, but you can apply that to everything. And I did a whole video, it's on my channel, I did this 10 years ago, about sort of looking at your life from a macro and a micro point of view. The macro point of view is what we often think about. It's like, how much money do I have in the bank? And how many kids do I have? And that's sort of this high level thing. And the macro to me is how you live day to day. So you should think about any of these desired end states, like how do you want your days to be, in addition to how do you want sort of big picture stuff to happen. And then you need to get this desired end state. So for me, you know you have a desired end state when you can visualize it, when you can form a picture in your head of what that looks like once you've accomplished it. I will warn you, don't spend too much time in the visualization, because then you'll get the feelings of having accomplished it without actually having accomplished it. And it turns out that that's a great sales method to get you thinking about what it'll be like to own the thing, but it's not necessarily the greatest thing for getting you to keep moving toward that. But you do need to have a clear vision. I'm going to tell you about a little thing. I think it's a little woo-woo, but it's the fact of the matter. There's something in the personal development community called manifesting. If you've ever heard of the book or the movie The Secret, it is the secret that if you get a clear vision of what you want your life to be, the universe will align and give you what you want. I personally don't think that's the way the universe works, but there's something going on, because I have done this before once I was doing some vision cast, goal setting, something, and I decided I was going to pick where I wanted to live in my life, and I made a list of 5 cities I wanted to live in. A month later, I had 2 job offers in number 1. Almost doing nothing to make that happen. So sometimes just getting clear on what you want makes things happen. At the very least, it's going to give you some awareness, and you will start seeing things that you didn't see before. So you need to have that desired instinct. And that's the first thing I want you guys to try and write down. I'll give you an example. So you got to pick up, you got to narrow down. If you've ever sat next to Ron at one of these meetings and you started telling me about your business, the first thing Ron's going to start telling you is you need to be niching down. You need to get, no, you don't. Your business is not for everybody on the planet. Your business needs to be for one particular group of people. And so it's like that in this. We need to niche down to just one part of your life. It can be your business. It can be one aspect of your business. So my desired instinct that we're going to talk about and turn into goals is about my YouTube channel. So I started a YouTube channel 10 years ago, and then it died after 15 episodes, and I brought it back this year. I'm on episode 11, I have the next 4 in there. And this is sort of my desired instinct. This is why I started the YouTube channel. This is why it exists. It exists so I can have a large audience and a big impact on the world. Okay, so that is my one-line statement for this vision that I have in my head of where I want my YouTube channel to go. So I would challenge you all to try and to think about it just for a moment. We're not going to have enough time for you to spend and get into a good meditative state, but one aspect of your life that you can get a clear vision of what you want it to be. And then write out one statement that describes that on that first line of your sheet. And I will give you guys 2 or 3 minutes to do that. And you all, because I know there's like 100 people right now on the live stream. For you guys, if you go to distinctionsforlife.tv/goal setting, you can actually download the PDF that everybody is using right now, and you can start doing it. You can follow along at home. I could not figure out how to put the URL into the live stream. that piece of music was actually royalty free. So it's Kevin MacLeod. If you want to look it up. If you need music for anything, Kevin MacLeod. That's a great website with a bazillion pieces of music, instrumental music for the most part. It's free to use as long as you give him credit. All right, so now hopefully you guys have something desired to stay. I understand it's a little difficult kind of wrap your head around, but I think it'll make more sense after we work through more of a goal because you'll see how I use it. Now, when it comes to setting goals, there are a bazillion ways, and I think that's almost a literal number. You could probably do a Google search and there would be a bazillion results on how to set goals. But the one that's kind of risen to the top is something called a SMART goal. And that is an acronym. Turns out there's not one definition for SMART either, but I'm going to give you mine. Well, I've already given it to you. It's on the sheet here. And so we're going to talk about what a SMART goal is. But first, we need to talk about what I mean when I say goal. A goal is a written statement of something that you want to accomplish. One key point there is that it's written. We all kind of think we have goals that we keep in our head. You know, I want to be successful. I want to be good looking and thin. You know, those are fantasies or dreams. They're not goals. We're going to talk about specifically what makes a good goal, but first and foremost thing that makes a goal is that you write it down. Writing it down makes it permanent, makes it real, also gives you something that you can go back to and look at and review over time to make sure that you're on track to what you want to accomplish. So, you know, even something like this would be better than nothing. But SMART is a very specific way of taking a goal, something that you've written down, and making it better. And we're going to work through mine up here, and then I will let you guys have a few minutes to smarten up your goals. And so the definition of SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. There are some variations in what the T is and what the R are, but they pretty much work that way. And I picked the picture of a person reading because that was smart, right? So here's our desired end state for my YouTube channel. YouTube channel will reach a large audience and have a big impact. Now, is that specific? Specific means that any goal that you write is about one thing. And this, which is not a very good goal, but it's something, is not about one thing. It's good in one sense that I didn't say Distinctions for Life will reach everybody on the planet and change their lives for the better, because then it would be even wider. So this is at least specific to my YouTube channel, but it has two aspects of it. One is about impact and one about audience size. So it's not, so let's just pick one of those to start with. And we're going to pick audience size to start with. So now that I change a little bit and I say the PFO YouTube channel will have a large audience. So that's making it specific. That gives us the S in SMART. And then the next thing in SMART is measurable. And the way I like to, I have to borrow terms in agile development, which is a kind of software development, which is defining done. How do you know that you finished it? And often we say, if you say, I want to be happy is my goal, well, how will you know? How will you know you're happy? I want to be rich. How will you know you're rich? I guarantee you most of you sitting in this room are rich in comparison to a great majority of people in the world. So you've already accomplished that goal. It's time to move on to a better one. So we have to have a measurable thing. And this is almost always means somewhere in your goal, there's going to be a number. Okay? Because numbers are something you can look at, and you can very specifically be able to measure those numbers. You can also see your progress if it's measurable. So in this case, I don't have a number. I have large. Well, what does large mean? And that will depend on what your goal is, what large is, right? But in my case, I started thinking about it a little, and I decided a large audience, I would let YouTube define what a large audience is. And YouTube gives out, I don't know how much you guys know about YouTube, but YouTube gives out these awards, and they're buttons. They're like a little plaque trophy of a button, the YouTube button, and they're in different metals. And the lowest one of those that they will send you a physical button in is silver. And the silver button means you have 100,000 subscribers. So that's the smallest audience that they consider big. They do have 2 levels below that I didn't realize even existed until I went and started doing this research. But I decided, okay, I will use that as my measurable goal. To have a large audience, I'm going to have 100,000 subscribers. So I rewrote mine, said the YouTube channel will have, the default YouTube channel will have 100,000 subscribers. Now the A is achievable. What achievable is this possible? You know, earlier I said, does the YouTube channel reach every human being on the planet? Guaranteed, not achievable. Right? But 100,000 people is achievable. And one of the questions I like to ask when I'm trying to decide if my goal is achievable is, has somebody else already done it? Because if somebody else has already done it, especially if it's somebody like me, it's in my niche, it's in my, wherever my business is, if you're making a business goal, if they have done the same thing, then we know it's possible to do it. And that means it's achievable. Well, there are a lot of YouTubers with that silver button. And there are a lot of YouTubers in my niche of personal development and entrepreneurship that have that silver button. So I'm going to say that 100,000 subscribers is in fact achievable because lots of YouTubers have it. The next is relevant. And relevant is one of the reasons you wanted a desired end state. Because will having 100,000 subscribers get me where I want to be? Right? Often we say, oh, I want to have $1 million in the bank. And then you get $1 million in the bank and you're like, well, what do I do now? Right? There's that classic sort of example that you've taken the ladder of success, you put it up against something, you climb to the top, and you realize it's leaning up against the wrong building. And that's where our desired end state came in. Is this going to give me what I want? And I think, well, 100,000 subscribers, that's a large audience. And I think it's relevant to actually the other half of my desired end state, which is to have a big impact. If 100,000 people are watching my videos, I think I will have a larger impact. So you have to gauge that. And then, we have time bound. I need to speed it up so you guys have time to do this. So time bound means you have to set a deadline. Which means your goals are not only going to have a number in them, they're going to have a date. Now we have to be careful here, right? And you can tell by my change of this goal that I don't think, I didn't really think I could have blown achievable up if I'd have said I want to have a silver button by July of next year. That wouldn't have worked. So what I ended up doing in this particular case was I made 3 goals, and this is the first one. So the first one is that I'll have 1,000 subscribers, which is a major milestone on YouTube. It's when they'll first start monetizing your videos. It's when you show up better in search. There's a whole bunch of things that happen when you get 1,000 subscribers. So I will have 1,000 subscribers by July 1st, which part of me thinks is too short, part of me thinks is too long. So go subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me out. But that's probably actually a pretty good place to be when you're setting a goal. Right? We don't want to set goals that don't challenge us, but we don't want to set goals that we're setting ourselves up for failure. We want to be somewhere in the middle. So if you feel like, well, I may have underestimated or I may have overestimated, you're probably somewhere close to where you need to be. You need to be challenged by your goal without being overwhelmed by it. And just so you know, I didn't pop out. There's the other 2. So order of magnitude a year. 1,000 in the first year, 10,000 the second, 100,000 the third. Because I don't think the growth is linear. All right, so now it's your turn. We're going to take 5 minutes, play some funky jazz music, and you guys need to get to take the desired end state you had before, turn it into a SMART goal by figuring out how to make it specific, how to put a number in there, how to decide whether or not it's achievable, it's relevant to what you want to accomplish, and write that down. You have 5 minutes, starting now. was what you wrote down with a list of actions.
Yeah, no, that's after. I wrote that first. I went back and filled those in.
If you have questions, just raise your hand. I'll walk over and see if I can help you. It's like, giving the missus help on the side here, evaluating her goals. We need to do that for everybody. Everybody feels she gets special treatment, even though she in fact does get special treatment.
I was gonna say, are they
As much as
good?
possible.
I don't know.
Yes. We're gonna. So it depends on. Yeah. I just remember that everywhere I walk around with them on camera or not, I'm still mic'd.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
We know the mistakes you can make if you have an open mic. These were 3 minutes.
1 minute. Are there any more sheets?
I believe there are. Daniel, there's a sign-in sheet you can catch on the way out. All right, so the stuff I've showed you so far, the desired end state, that kind of mission building, if you've been in a company that has a mission statement, that's the kind of stuff that's the desired end state. Then you got to put that down into goals, and you learn the smart stuff. Stuff that comes now is stuff that I find is really helpful to accomplishing your goals. And the first one is why. Why must you accomplish this goal? I heard someone say once, might have been Tony Robbins, not positive about it, but I think it was, said that if you have a big enough why, you'll figure out how. And the other aspect of that whyness is if you don't have a big enough why, you'll quit the first time it gets hard. So it's very important to come up with why. And a lot of times we say, why should I do this? Or why is this so important? Or that kind of thing. As opposed to changing the sentence just a little, why must I accomplish this? Not why do I want to accomplish this, but why must I? And so you can, if you ask it that way, you can ask with two ways, answer two ways. You can answer with the wonderful positive things that will happen, and you can answer it in the negative manner, which I say are the dire consequences if you don't do it. So what horrible, terrible things will happen to you if you don't accomplish this goal? Now, if that's the kind of thing that's going to keep you up at night, might not be too great a thing to dwell on that, but I think you do need to write some whys down now. So when you encounter those problems in the future, you'll have a reason why. Another way of looking at whys to help you out is that I've added are sort of perspectives on why. So why must I accomplish this for my family and my wife and my children, the people around me, my relationships? Why must I accomplish it for them? Why must I accomplish it for a spiritual reason? What is God going to think about? Like, why do I need to do this for Him? Why do I need to do this for my community? And all of these are making your picture bigger and wider and showing you dependencies and helping you examine it. Now, another aspect of why. So you need these whys, right? They're going to keep you moving forward. But another thing I like to do to goals, and actually should have started with this, is I like to ask the goal why. Why are you doing this? For instance, and this is in one of my things, I said, what do you want in life, Ron? Let's start a goal. And I said, well, I want a Tesla Roadster and a trip to the moon. But the only problem with those is they're just things. Even a trip to the moon, yes, is a thing. You start asking, well, why do you want a trip to the moon? Why do you want a Tesla Roadster? Well, because, having a Tesla Roadster would be really cool. And, what impact will this have on your life? Oh, well, it's a thing. Things are important, right? Just keep asking that why like a 4-year-old. Why do you want that? 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 Until you get back to sort of a core. If you can do that 2 or 3 times, and you haven't gotten into something that you think is actually stupid, or you haven't gotten down to, because it's a good thing to do, a seriously good thing to do, then you've probably got something that you actually want. But a lot of times when we talk about things like straight monetary goals, it's like, why do I need to have $1 million? Well, then I won't. Okay, I'll give you an example. This is actually in the video. So you say, I want to have $1 million. And I say, well, why do you want to have $1 million? Because then I wouldn't have to go to work anymore or deal with my boss. Well, why do you not want to deal with your boss? I don't want to deal with my boss because he micromanages me, he tells me what to do all the time, and I hate that. Well, at this point, you've gotten to a point where you're like, you know what? It is a whole lot easier for you to change jobs or to talk to your boss than it is to make $1 million. I guarantee either one of those is easier to make $1 million for most of us. So you've gotten to a point where you're like, well, there's actually something underlying my want. And so you need to write down why you must accomplish it, and you need to ask it why you actually want to do it. Because we're going to get to, in our next couple of points, we're going to get to things that are going to show you some of the costs. So you need to have an idea of why you want to do that. And I will give you, I'll give you 2 minutes to write some whys. I did it again. Karen, I'm having flashbacks to the branding thing.
Too much information in a short time.
Well, you're better now, because the next ones are shorter.
All right, I'm actually going to cheat a little because now I'm realizing we're running rapidly out of time. You guys can take this worksheet home with you. If you look on the back, you can also see how you can get a PDF of the worksheet that you can use for things later on. If you are trying to do something in life, it's often good to anticipate problems you're going to have in the future. And one of those problems is that you're going to have too much going on when you want to accomplish this goal. Or you're going to start keeping, my problem is I keep saying yes to things. So what I want you to think about when you're writing this goal, when you most want this thing to happen, and you're not tired, and you're not hungry, nobody's hungry, see, it's great, and what are you going to have to say no to in the future to accomplish these things? Because, it could be something big, like I'm going to have to say no to that vacation I want to take, or I'm going to have to say no to my full-time job, or it could be something small, like I'm going to have to say no to binge watching the new season of Westworld when it comes out. I am going to have to say no to sitting in front of the TV every evening and watching television. I'm going to have to say no to these things. And I think it's good to, in the moment you're making the goal, to anticipate some of the things you're going to have to say no to, and not take on new commitments as well. So that's what the reality of no is, because the reality is you are going to have to say no to things. Next, and this is the sort of the classic next step in goal setting, is to work backwards from the goal to where you are now. And I will give you a quick example. I had a goal that I wanted to speak at a men's conference that I go to every February called Influential. It's in Atlanta. It's about 200 men. They have a day on personal style and a day on personal development. I want to speak there. So that was my desired end state. I smartened it up so I knew when I wanted to go, so they gave me that at that point. And then I started working backwards, and I said, okay, I'm standing on stage at Influential, and I've just finished my speech. What did I do right before that? Well, I was backstage with the other speakers, getting ready for this, going over my notes, going over what did I do right before that. Well, I traveled to Atlanta, came from my hotel, I traveled to Atlanta. What did I do before that? Right before that, well, I prepared for the trip. What did I do before that? Well, I practiced my speech. I practiced my speech. I did do that. What did I do before that? I picked what my speech would be. What did I do before that? I made a bunch of topics that my speech could be, based on the audience from Influential. Like, what could I speak about that would help them? And then what did I do before I made all those choices? I thought about who the audience was. And now I can just take that list and go backwards. I can think about who the audience is. I can come up with a bunch of different things I can speak about. I can pick one of those. I can practice it over and over again. And so that's sort of the method I use. I also had in there that I sent the people a video of me doing the speech. So since they didn't know me, they could see how good a speaker I was or not good a speaker I was. And then they could choose to have me come. And I even had a plan B, because plan A didn't work. Plan A was they would say yes. Plan B was they say no. And that was, I told them, okay, if you've already got all your speakers, if you have someone quit on short notice, call me, and I will. You can tell me that morning, and I'll get up and give this speech. So it's always kind of good to have plan Bs and to see that action. But working backwards is what helps you do that. So that is the next step in goal setting, and there's nowhere near enough room for you on that page to write an action list like that, but you should definitely think about it when you're writing your goals. A couple of other special aspects of that, and this is kind of what one of the things Tom was talking about, was habits and streaks. So habit is a ongoing, repeating action. So if you have a goal to be fit or to run a marathon, let's say you have a goal to run a marathon, you need to form a habit of running every day, or most days of the week, at least 5 days of the week. And you need to do that over and over and over again. And that habit, just by forming it, will move you toward your goal. And in some cases, just accomplish your goal. If you have the habit of a particular fitness, it works in really well. If you go to the gym 3 days a week, and you have an ever-changing but baseline program, you will get fitter. There's just no choice about that. A streak is a similar thing in that you have a time-limited number of things. And my classic example of this is NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo is a short form of National Novel Writing Month. It happens every November. If you're a writer and you want to write a novel, you do NaNoWriMo. And the goal of NaNoWriMo is to write a 50,000-word novel in the month of November. First draft, month of November. And to do that, you have to write 1,666 words a day for 30 days. So that's a streak. And when I did it a couple of years ago, I had a calendar, and every day in November that I wrote, I would mark one off. And the power of streaks is after you put in about 5 X's in a row, you really don't want to miss. You've got this mental force going on in your head that it's worse not to break my streak than it is to go do whatever it is for that streak. So that's what a streak is. And then the last point I want to make is who. And I think this is actually what started me on this whole goal setting thing, was the power of who and how we don't do it in our goals. Who is answering the questions, who do I need to know, meet, get to know, talk to, network with, to help me accomplish this goal? Because we often think about our goals as everything that you need to do, but one of the things that can be really powerful is
all of you to come Christmas caroling with us. We started it last year and just got together with some friends, family, church members, and total strangers. And we had over 30
So, do they meet at the Abilene Elementary School?
Yes.
And they meet there at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 if they want pictures with Santa, and then 5:30 we'll try to get started. We've got song books, and we're gonna try to have those handed out. I would suggest bringing some kind of like a lantern or type of a light so that you can see. And, last year it got a little cold after the sun went down and everything, but, we had a ball.
And it is Texas, so you actually have no idea what the weather is.
Yeah. And we're also gonna do that again on the 20th, so that'll be on a Friday.
Do you have an announcement?
I do. I'm going to be starting a mindfulness-based stress reduction course January 8th. It's offered free to the Abilene community. And stress is one of the great challenges of our culture. And it's an 8-week course, and it's offered totally free. So if you want information, I have one more brochure.
All right. Any other announcements? I want to thank you all for coming. I come to these things all the time, but of course, it's just natural. Most public speakers, I'm going to be the guy, and there's going to be nobody here. I'm very thankful that everybody came out today. And if you have any questions, I will be sitting around cleaning up, and I will answer any questions I can. Thank you all. And thank you to our audience online.